Right, hello everybody. Long time since I did one of these videos. I did actually send a couple of videos out for the recent colours show at Newbury, a lovely setting, racecourse out in Newbury, Berkshire, and that was very pleasant. And I used to go to these shows, I suppose, 20 years ago or so, and at a time when the internet wasn't really up and running, or I certainly wasn't using it, and it was always an opportunity to pick up a few rare books and figures, and and now I struggle to find things to buy because everything that you want you really get on the internet, so most figures and certainly most books I've long since picked up, and there's only a few things. I would show you first this book, A Line in the Sand, which is French Foreign Legion forts in Morocco. I thought Ralph in particular, he's probably aware of this one, but it's quite a nice book. I think we all like the Foreign Legion, and the idea of a bit of a battle going on in some beleaguered fort. Wonderful pictures, lovely narrative, very interesting. The chap has gone out and taken some really first-class photographs of forts that I must admit I was surprised, although they're in out-of-way places, I was surprised that they were still in relatively good condition. He found some artifacts from the Legion, mess tins, spent ammunition, and the bit I did find quite interesting was at the very end. They did a archaeological it's easy for me to say, archaeological review of the 1939 Beaugest film Fort. So that's where the fort was sited in the Californian desert, and they found the remains, the flooring and everything being very much like the original forts. But I thought that was a nice touch. In addition, I recently was looking at Plastic Soldier Review, and they had an article on the Revel figures for the 30 Years War. Now, I have to say that the 30 Years War wasn't, one of the strongest interests of mine, but nevertheless, I remember them on the shelves, I suppose going back about 10 years or so now, and I decided to see if I could track them down on the internet, and I was able to do so. Sorry, I'm having a bit of trouble with the camera there, but yeah, I was able to pick them up on the internet over a period of some months, and it's basically Imperial infantry and Swedish infantry. I'll show you some of the figures. They were described on the Plastic Soldier Review site as some of the amongst the finest figures ever committed to plastic, and you can see the level of quality there. Now, these would do just as well for English Civil War, though I did pick up a few Osprey books on the 30 Years War. It'd never been a war that really took to me. I didn't religious wars and all that, and yet very interesting. King Carl Gustaf, the Swedish king, who was the Napoleon of his time, and yeah, the figures are quite exquisite, really. I mean, I'm not sure my painting's going to do them justice. They are really, really lovely figures. I managed to pick them up on eBay. I remember originally seeing them on the shelves of a toy shop for £10.99. I got most of them for £14.99. I think one of them I paid £17.99, which was, you know, it seemed a little heavy, but I certainly got most of them for just £5 or so more than they would have cost originally. And I've assembled let me see now, yeah, 2-3 boxes of Imperial Infantry. I've also the Swedish Infantry. The artwork as well is very well, it's not up there with Airfix in the early days, but the artwork is very nice. I won't show you all of the plastic figures. They are all superb, really, as the first set that I showed you. The artillery sets, I think you get about 5 guns, and there you are, Imperial Artillery. All the figures would do for either side in an English Civil War scenario. Yeah, they're superb. As I say, I think you get about 5 guns and crews, so a fairly big artillery set. And then we've got a Swedish cavalry. As I say, I remember these on the shelves, and then they all disappeared around about, I suppose, 2005, something like this. The boxes are dated, I think, let me see, 2009. So yeah, about 2010 actually they started to disappear. And I did intend, you know, we all have these good intentions, I did intend to actually start painting. It seemed a good idea at the time. I don't know if I can, as I say, do them justice. They are so fine, you know, they're kind of just museum quality. If you look at them on Plastic Soldier Review site, you know, they are extraordinary. Something I did pick up at Newbury, slightly unusual one. I mean, we're used to sort of painting all sorts of soldiers through history, but very rarely do we paint soldiers who are actually fighting at this moment. And I decided to, as a bit of a tribute, I'm going to paint these Ukrainian defenders, modern day Ukrainian infantry. Now they've got a bit of a kind of scatter camouflage type uniform, which is, you know, I think it's not going to be easy. Certainly not easy for me, but I thought I'd do that as a kind of tribute, as it were. And so I picked those up. I'm not usually a modernist, but you know, I thought I'd give those a go. There's one chap appears to be more of a militia. The chap who's laying down appears to be a police officer. They are very nicely done. Certainly, as Plastic Soldier Review again said, you know, Mars, their casting, their sculpting rather, has become much better. So yeah, I'm going to give those a go, but as I said, I think I'm going to struggle with this this sort of scatter camouflage. It's, if anyone's got any ideas how you actually achieve that. They seem to have done quite well here, though some of them appear to be just in khaki, but yeah, that's it's going to be an interesting one. As I say, I hope to do an update. I've been buying and attempting to sell some figures on eBay. I shall do a video on them next time. Les Higgins figures from the 60s and 70s, and Hinton Hunt. I'm sure there'd be names familiar to you guys out there. There's also another set which I've I've attempted to retouch them and smarten them up a bit. The figures as I bought them were a little bit jaded, shall we say, paint wearing thin, but I'd like help with the identification of at least one set that I've got, which I will, as I say, I'll make a video soon. But yeah, it's good to get back. It's you know, the old story of real life interrupting your hobby, and ill health, unfortunately, not giving you the opportunities you'd like. But I hope this, you know, you find some interest in this. It's difficult for me to get a bit of time on my own, actually, and be able to run through anything. And I do it in a, I understand, fairly shambolic way. I looked at one of my recent videos of a Wargames exposition, and I just photographed my thumb all the way through it. But you know, you have to take them for what they are, my amateurish efforts. And as I say, I hope this has been of some interest. And as I say, if you're out there, Ralph, line in the sand, I think you'd like that one. But I shall catch up with you all next time. I hope to go to South East London Wargames Group at Pickett's Lock, North London. I think that's on the 9th of October. So I shall be getting along there. As I say, I find it, I always buy brushes. I just seem to have a brush fetish, and I'm never going to use them all, but I always pick up half a dozen or so brushes, try and get a couple of really decent ones, a couple of tins of paint. But I mean, I like mixing with the people and the atmosphere and the enthusiasm and seeing the games and all these things. But I think honestly I've got everything off the internet that I ever probably want. So yeah, it's you know, pros and cons, but still enjoy going. But hope you're all well, and I shall see you in a future video. Goodbye.